It's probably people who went to college would think that I was obnoxious. I don't like to be not in charge. I like to write the programs. I like to determine how it's going to be done. Back in the 80s, you had to learn how to write the program to solve the problem. I worked for my father at the time, who was a manager of a restaurant. My sisters and I all did. And I watched my father, and he was a tremendous manager. And I always figured that I would end up in that situation because I just didn't like other people being in charge. So it sounds so terrible, but every project we did in college, I'll take the lead. Because I wanted it done on time and I wanted it done correctly. So I don't know that I had these great aspirations, at 21 years old, 22 years old, but I never thought that I wouldn't eventually be in charge of something. Well, there's a lot of responsibility, and I would be lying to you if I said that it's easy to do. There's a lot of responsibility, especially in IT. You're on call 24 hours a day. You have to be able to answer your phone. You have to be willing to drop what you're doing and run down to wherever you work, either the mill or the hospital, and deal with whatever situation it is. I'm very fortunate, and I say this to any young person. My husband and I would like to say we have a partnership in raising our children. We have 2 children, and had we not been able to partner, and I hadn't had that freedom to get up out of bed and say, I gotta go, deal with them in the morning, I wouldn't have been successful. So it was the 2 of us partnering together. It is a lot of responsibility. 5 o'clock comes and you're not going home. You may be there until 6, 7, 8 o'clock, you just may be. And you may get home and you may be back at 2 or 3 in the morning, but that's part of the responsibility in IT. And you have to be willing to take it. The best things I think that we've done at Sharon Regional in the last few years, and I loved it. We had Community Day, or I forget what we call it, but everybody would come in and clean up their part of the outside of the organization just to try to beautify it. And we always joke about behind one building that we call it the Walters Memorial Gardens, because I'd make my kids come and my husband, and that was where we always cleaned, and we would trim and mulch, and I think that that's really important, that my kids see that you have to do that too. You don't get to just start in at the top. You have to do everything to help where you work to make it pretty. And I wish we'd go back to a little bit more of that. The people that are young and just starting, and even though I've had just a couple young men that work for me, but men and women, what I would tell them, and I have told the ones that work for me, network with people. Not just the people that are in your reporting line. You don't just want to be faithful to the people that you report to and they're one up from there. You want to network with everyone that you see in the organization. Everyone is important. And be kind. You're going to, and I don't want to say you don't want to use people, that's not what I mean at all. You want to make sure that you're kind to everyone you meet and you help anyone that you can help. There will come a time when you're going to need someone to help you. And you need to know that you've built that relationship and you're not just now asking or demanding, because you can never just demand people to help you. They have to respect you, they have to like you. And I think that is the most important thing that you can teach people, is be kind. And make sure, my mother was crazy about this. It didn't matter where you ranked in the world, whether you were the highest person or the lowest person as far as, what job you had. If you didn't treat them all the same, that was just intolerable to my mother. And I hope that I have passed that on to my children, that everyone is important, and say hello to everyone, treat everyone kindly. And it will pay off in the end, because you have to put in, I would tell them that. I would tell them work ethic. Put it all out there and make sure people know that you're not walking out that door at 5 o'clock. If there's something that has to get done, that you're there for them. What can I do? How can I help? Organize yourself so that people don't have to give you constant direction. Make sure they see that you can take on a project and finish it yourself. So those are the things I would tell.